But with regards to the rolling out of the Big Four agenda, are they achievable owing to the current economic status?
They are simply not achievable for the simple reason. You know, from a policy perspective, when you formulate policy, you must be very clear in your mind about the roadmap on how you want to implement those policies. Okay? On what basis did we come up with the Big Four agenda? Where did it come from? You see, policies don't just come from heaven.
Yes.
You must develop a background, a basis, a justification, and how you will be able to fund it and the returns from it. Those reports should be available to everybody else. But you don't just come up with the Big Four agenda and say, now we are going to do infrastructure, housing, health, manufacturing, and there's nothing on the ground to show for it.
Mathematically.
That is not how policy is done. Policy is more programmatic and more comprehensive than that. So, like now, we are now in 2019, going towards the end. Show me anything on the ground that we are working on any of the Big Four agenda. We are not. The BBI is coming. It may recommend a referendum, which may now take us completely from the Big Four agenda.
Well, now this is unbelievable.
You know that?
The country is going broke, and there's a whole push. I can see here that Raila has made a request, request to Council of Governors to support constitutional change through BBI. Sure.
We'll come to that because that is another whole debate about the issue. Just finish up and then we go to the health docket, which apparently is another mess. We'll come to it.
Yeah. So the Big Four agenda for me is unimplementable because we don't have any document upon which we can rely. We do not even understand what it's all about. It was not tabled before us, and nobody tells us anything more about it. We have no concept. Who else talks about it?
It was too aggressive. The president didn't have to do. I don't know how to put this. What the president had to do was not even propose such things as a Big Four. That's too ambitious. It's too vast. Things like unemployment, Ayub, you know, we run, I was about to call you Hussein. My good friend Hussein Mohammed. You know, we run annual deficit of 150,000 units every year in this country. So housing itself is a huge problem. Housing alone, corruption alone is a huge problem.
Manufacturing.
Health. Manufacturing is a problem because of the cost of doing business, because of inputs such as even electricity, and also just the climate under which jobs are so scarce and are such a problem. So just imagine all of these huge major challenges all at the same time. You're bound to fail. I would rather set up 2 goals and achieve on both of them rather than set 4 big ones and fail on all 4. So for example, what the president could have done somehow, and I believe it's possible, would be just to say, okay, here's the constitution. Here I am as president.
Yes.
Let me implement this constitution to the letter.
Without listening to, of course, what appears to be a polluted environment at the moment.
Exactly. No, just the constitution, just its goodness, its idealism, its rights and everything guaranteed in there. And just actually what I'd have done if I was President Uhuru is just work to make the institutions work, to bring some hygiene, to make sure that police officers traffic police officers are not extorting bribes, you know, that kind of, just to clean up the country, so to speak. That's not happened. Okay. And so you just wonder, I mean, where do you start? And this is going to be demonstrated better on this show as we move towards the debate on healthcare.
Yes,
what happened
yes.
in the Ministry of Health.
I
mean, how do you, even if me, I was sitting here to defend him, how do you justify that?
Given that, because the health docket is on the spot of a varying ICU equipment costs, let me just lay out 2 examples which are very perfect with regards to this. And I'm coming to you, Innocent Ngare, on this particular point, because, for instance, in Kakamega Level 5 Hospital, a microwave oven was listed at 1.2 million Kenya shillings. That is a microwave oven. And the market price for the theatre spotlight is 1,900 shillings, yet it was procured at 1.4 million. That is 54 times the normal market price. A trolley dressing that goes for 15,000 Kenya shillings in the market price was valued at 1.2 million Kenya shillings. And the patient trolley at current market value costs 26,680, but under the ministry lists it to the counties at 1.5 million Kenya shillings. An instrument trolley that cost 22,080 bob was each listed at 534,500 shillings. This is what the ministry managed to, of course, was accused of in the Clover Mailu, and that is PS Muraguri. And there was a scandal of 5 billion Kenya shillings, and that amounted to 21% of its allocated 23.5 billion Kenya shillings. There already are adverse circumstances, and the most challenging one is the rollout of the universal healthcare coverage, much talked about with Pompey style. Are these things realistic? Are they achievable?
What is happening in the Ministry of Health is beyond shocking. The brazen manner in which they execute some of these graft hastes, the level of impunity, it is baffling. Mm-hmm. It is baffling. I mean, you have this Dutch company that is now saying...
I wish I could laugh
that,
like you.
Yeah. You have this Dutch company that is saying that, look, these are not the prices that we quoted to the Ministry of Health. So it means these figures were cooked within the ministry itself. And this is coming in the wake of previous corruption scandals in the same ministry. Mm-hmm. And you have a president who is quiet. You have an opposition that is dead. As a matter of fact, yesterday, the former prime minister was in Kibra waxing lyricals about the same person whose ouster from government he pursued a couple of years back.
Yes, that
you
is.
See, nobody's talking about... I'm telling you, it's...
Okay, unimaginable.
Yes. Ayub, I think we've got a fundamental problem here that we need to deal with. Benji said something and it just passed like that. If he were the president, he would just do what? Implement the constitution. That is where our problems begin. Do you know health is a devolved function?
Yet 90% of the...
Yet
and
90% of the... Yes, in the
Right
constitution.
in the constitution.
Yes, yet 90% of the money remains here in Afia.
So how do you justify that?
How do you justify that? It means that certain people have a certain idea
Exactly.
on what to do with that money.
Outside of the constitution.
Correct. Absolutely contrary to what the constitution provides. That is why they have refused to devolve health completely. So much so that they can now enter into agreements to purchase equipment for the counties. And the governors do not even see the purchase agreements. They're just told, sign here. And then counties are deducted at source.
Exactly.
For those equipment.
Yet it's the devolved function.
Yet it's a devolved function. They have no say.
100% control.
They have no say on it. Now, the other problem, so there are two problems. That is one. We need to devolve health the way the constitution requires. Mm-hmm. The other thing that I want us to talk about here is there was a small problem when we were in Bomas. We forgot to include Health Service Commission in Chapter 15 of the Constitution. The teachers got their Teacher Service Commission, public servants got their Public Service Commission, the judiciary got their Judicial Service Commission, but we forgot about the Health Service Commission. It's very important that as moving forward, we need a commission that looks after the welfare of health workers. We forgot about them because I think from the word go, we thought that health workers are very elitist. They are properly taken care of by the government. They did not need a commission to deal with their matters. But now we have realized that actually they also need attention.
While I agree with that, I'm a little cautious about increasing the bureaucracy.
Okay, briefly.
To me,
Yep.
adding commissions or adding commissioners in commissions is not as important as getting a clean hands government. In other words, you can have clean leadership with less commissions, with less bureaucracy, and you can have better distribution within the economy, better good governance, better performance.
Benji, do you think we can see that in this government?
But that's
clean
exactly,
leadership in this government.
But that's exactly the point, is that that's what we are berating here,
I
is that
think
that's not happening.
Expecting Uhuru Kenyatta to respect the Constitution is asking for too much for a man who did not support the Constitution we have in the first place.
That was in the referendum bill of 2010. Well, gentlemen, I do appreciate your time, but it's equally important for the government to ensure that the state institutions do not become the channel choice for looting public resources. And then the main question remains how the government will put to a stop or keep at bay the pilferage of the public resources and the continuing graft in all state institutions in the country. We hit the break. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to the political aspect of the country, the political campaigns in Kibra constituency, why there seems to be no attention on addressing issues that are of concern to the common Mwananchi, yet there appears to be an all ambition laid out by all the political entities for 2022, and those who are banking on the support or what the BBI is going to be recommending despite the poor status of the economy in regards to what many economists say is now on the limping spree and hobbling for that matter. The number is 0791478990. The hashtag on Twitter is NewDayKE. The short SMS code is 40920. Stay tuned. We are coming back after the short break.